Hi everybody, welcome to a very long overdue no-buy update. Wow, I can't believe it has been so long since my last one. I meant to do one before I went on my trip, which was the end of September into October. Obviously didn't happen. I did write down my notes for this video then, so I'm gonna kind of go off of that and just expand a little bit on it. I had wanted to do a check-in beforehand and kind of explain what was going to happen. I have obviously purchased a couple things. I'm not going to show everything in this video because then it would kind of turn into a haul basically. Not that I was buying a whole bunch of stuff. Everything was repurchases except for 2 eyeshadow palettes. I did purchase a large Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette and a small one of the mini ones when I was away in the US. They were planned purchases as well, but those were the two things I purchased that were really outside of my no-buy for the entire year. And that was the first eyeshadow palette I had purchased in almost exactly a year because last October was when I purchased the Natasha Denona Gold palette. So I feel pretty good about that. But I did want to address it and talk about it, and I did end up doing a palette bingo before I did an update video, which is probably throwing some people for a loop, and I know some people have been kind of like, what's up with the no-buy, what's going on? I also did make sure to put in a little safety zone for me when I had put my rules for my no-buy in my intro video, where I was going to allow myself a couple of purchases for the year for things like for my YouTube channel or something fun, and that was basically it. Those were really the things that I purchased that were outside of like normal spending. So before I get into more details, I am just going to say at the very beginning that I do plan on continuing like this going forward. A lot of people have asked, you know, what I was going to end up doing after the year, if I was going to go back to the way I had been before and purchasing things, and I've learned way too much. And I really enjoy the way that my relationship has been with makeup for the last year, or at least the last couple of months, definitely. So I am planning on continuing this way. This is what I'm considering to be the new normal. I am very comfortable this way, which is basically a replacement only no-buy with obviously 1 or 2 exceptions, although the 1 or 2 exceptions happen to follow after the year. I'm not focusing too much on strict rules. I really want to focus on what I'm going to do instead of what I'm not going to do, because I feel like if there's too much focus on what I'm not going to do, then I will dwell on that, and I feel like that's where the negativity comes in, and that's where the poor relationship with makeup and with overspending and everything else comes into play. So my plan is to focus on the things that I'm going to do, like use up my products, like purchase things as I need them, and not a lot of these want extra products that I don't need, because I can create what I want or use what I already have to create looks that I feel like I want to do, because my way of using makeup has changed so drastically since I stopped panning, since I haven't been uploading that much, and now I'm hoping to get back into uploading more regularly. As you might have been able to tell, since I'm trying to upload a little bit more, I have a big decision to make about whether or not I'm going to continue with my YouTube channel. This is diving into something else, but I am looking for my own place, and the cost of an extra room solely to have a space for filming might not happen. I'm hoping it will, but I'd have to upload enough that it would be worth it for me personally to invest that kind of money and time into it, and I don't know if I am there right now because I had stepped away for so long out of necessity. I think it was really helpful for me to step back for a lot of reasons, and I've touched on them before. You guys have heard about some of the things that I've gone through, and I really needed to take that step back, and I think it was one of the best things I could do for my mental health. But I feel like I'm in a happier, secure spot right now where I could come back and talk about stuff like my no-buy and do some of these fun videos. So I've spent what I figure is somewhere around $800, give or take. I wasn't tracking every single penny on every single beauty product. I did show in a lot of my no-buy updates things I bought, and I did show on Instagram a lot of the things I bought, but I wasn't like tracking the dollar amount from drugstore purchases. The only numbers I know for certain are Sephora, because it's tracked through my account. I have not hit Rouge.
I'm about $400 Canadian away from hitting Rouge, so I'm hoping that that won't happen this year, but if it does happen, it does. The money I spent was a lot of repurchases, obviously. A fairly substantial chunk did come from my eyeshadow purchases, which it's to be expected, I guess, for me. I'm not really surprised that that's the things that I bought, but I did also purchase some presents as well, so it's not all products that came into my collection, although it was a lot of repurchases, and I tend to have big Sephora orders at like one time because I would need to get a couple of things all at one time, or I would wait and then make one order or go into store or however it happened to be. But that's roughly where I am. So we'll see. Again, like I said, I'm not focusing on what I'm not going to do. I'm going to focus on what I'm going to do. And I'm going to try and use what I have. And I'm going to try and not purchase things that I don't need. But I'm already starting to run out of more things again that I see myself needing. And some of these things are only carried at Sephora. And I'm not necessarily looking for replacement products in like a different price range, so I'm not necessarily looking for like drugstore dupes for things that I would get at Sephora. I'm just looking to repurchase the things that I love or try something new in the same category. Just the thing that I'm thinking about specifically is the Becca Under Eye Corrector, which I've never tried anything that I like as much as that one. I have the Liquid Urban Decay Naked Concealer, the pink one, which I'm currently using, but I really love the Becca, which I'm out of. So that was just a specific example. So the first couple of months of the no buy were the absolute hardest. It was really hard to get into that new routine, and that's pretty common. A lot of people say that about a lot of changes. It's science. It just takes you a certain amount of time to readjust, and I definitely had a pretty tough period of time readjusting to the idea of doing a no buy. What helped was developing interests in other things besides makeup. Now it's funny because I did really naively think that when I was doing my no buy, I was going to be able to keep going the way I had been going, doing the same kind of videos I was doing, keeping the same level of engagement, and it really was not possible to do so. I felt like I was sort of separating a little bit from the beauty community as a content creator and as, you know, a person who consumes it. I just had to step back, and I couldn't participate in the exact same way as I had been before, and it was really hard to find like where I could fit in because I didn't know exactly how I could contribute to a discussion in a thoughtful way. Avoiding Instagram and YouTube a lot was tricky, and it definitely was a slow process. It wasn't immediate. Like I definitely could not go cold turkey with it. It was definitely something where it was like, okay, I started checking things less. I started like checking trend mood less. I started checking my subscription feed on YouTube less. I stopped watching videos about new releases and swatch videos, and I, you know, was very careful about that kind of consumption, and that really helped, but it took a long time for my brain to kind of catch up. I really didn't finish as many products as I thought I was going to finish, or as people thought I was going to finish. People were like, oh, you're going to be through so many of your products. Now I did go through quite a few liquid things, quite a few of those things, but powders last forever when you're not intentionally panning them, and I did no panning projects. I think I might have started one or two and quickly abandoned it because I just didn't enjoy it. I'd mentioned a few times, I think I did a whole video where I talked about how I wasn't panning anymore, and I don't feel the need to pan. I constantly get asked if I'm going to start any new panning projects or if I have anything that I'm thinking about doing, and I don't. Besides bringing back something like Project Pan Porn, which is really just a fancy name for like 1 month, 1 palette or something like that, because I'm just going to focus on a couple palettes and see how my usage goes with them. Maybe try to focus on some specific shades to hit pan on. I've hit pan on shades naturally because I've been gravitating towards using them. That's been really interesting to see the things that I was gravitating towards and seeing like the big dips and like the little pans up here, because I was just naturally using things and I wasn't over applying things. I wasn't trying to use things as much as possible. I did still wear makeup pretty much every day, not every single day. Definitely went out without makeup more than once, which has been really liberating, but it's like I wasn't panning. I didn't have that focus. I wasn't feeling like I was gonna let people down if I didn't have like crazy amazing progress to show on my eyeshadow palettes or the other products I was using. it's just like a much healthier relationship for me for makeup, because I was panning at such a level, such a high intensity, that it just was not good for me. I did experience quite a bit of change with my makeup preferences, with my skin. I noticed things applying differently, not just because some things were old and not applying great, but just the way that my skin was reacting to things was a lot different. Aging is lovely. I've also just found myself gravitating towards like a very different makeup style. I kind of went throwback a little bit today to like kind of my makeup style last year a little bit, where I was like matte lipstick and like a little more intense glitter and shimmer and like the lashes, and I was like looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, this feels so strange. This is not how I do my makeup anymore. Like I've just changed. Just the way that I like to do makeup has changed so much, and I do feel like some of it's been reflected in some of the media that I have consumed. Some of the handful of like influencers that I still watch, like the YouTubers I watch, a lot of them are into more of the like light coverage, glossy skin, and like usually like very simple eyes, nothing like really sculpted and structured. And one of my biggest influences is Natasha Denona's Instagram, which tends to be like very eye focused, very structured eye looks, but like very toned down everything else, or like the big bushy eyebrows and like the like really glowy face and the smoky eyes and stuff. That's just what I love, and I have really enjoyed being inspired by that, and I feel like it reflects in me more, like at least me right now. I do change a lot, and I acknowledge those changes. I will go back and look at some of like my older videos or some of my old Instagram posts, and I look at some of the makeup I did that I loved at the time, and I'm like, ooh, like real full on cringe. But at the time I loved it, so you know, no regrets. As bad as it might have actually objectively looked, and I know sometimes people like called me out on some of the things I did, and I was like, yeah, I love it, I don't care. And at the time I truly believed that. I really did. And right now I'm like, you know what, this is the phase I'm in. I might look back at this someday and be like, oh god, what was I thinking? But right now, that's what I've been loving. A good example is my Metropolis palette bingo, which I just did, which is the previous video, which please go watch it. I really want to do more videos like that, but that wasn't very popular, which is funny because so many people are always asking for videos like that. But I guess it's what people say is that there's like a really vocal minority sometimes when it comes to videos like that. And anyway, I enjoyed it. I want to do more palette bingos with like some of my older palettes as well. But that look in that video, I actually showed a picture within that video of how I do my makeup every day, and that's very true to just how I have been with my makeup preferences. I did still buy things though. If it wasn't makeup, I was still buying things. I've definitely been learning a lot more, looking at my triggers, why I want to shop for certain reasons, certain things, like if I was happy or sad or angry or whatever thing was happening. And sometimes I'm getting influenced by like the treat yourself mentality, and sometimes it was like I was just really not having a great day and I found myself shopping, or sometimes it was like some special occasion that I was building up that I felt like I had to have new products for. It's funny because I would feel things like when people would compliment my makeup, I would feel like I needed new makeup at that point. Instead of being like, hey, people like what I already have on my face, fantastic, I'd be like, well, but imagine what they would think if I had these new things. Kind of a weird thing, but I've been tracking a lot, I've been journaling a lot, I've been tracking like emotions and that kind of stuff. It's really been a lot of introspection. I don't think people like to hear that, especially like with no-buy stuff, and people want advice and they want to be able to like instantly do it and like save a whole bunch of money. But I think people want to go on makeup no-buys to save money, maybe to get some more use out of their collection. But there seems to be a lot of people who like want to save money but yet still buy everything, and that just does not happen. And on that note, I was kind of lucky because I do have a makeup related YouTube channel and an Instagram account, and I do get contacted by companies every now and then who want to send me stuff, and I tend to usually accept it from like the larger makeup brand, I should say. I don't accept everything I'm offered. It's a lot of weird stuff sometimes, but you know, I do take it as long as there's no strings. And I usually tell them that and kind of be like, okay, I assume you know what my content is and what I'm doing, but I will gladly take this stuff and use it, and if I like it, I'll talk about it. And I have had some good luck that way and some good communication with brands over that kind of stuff, but that
really does make a difference when it comes to curbing the impulse to purchase when you still have packages arriving. So I feel like it's really not the same as like an everyday person doing a no buy, which you're really not going to find on YouTube, except for maybe somebody with like a really small account, but even small accounts still get offered stuff. And then when you're getting free product, it's a completely different thing. You're not spending money, and then it's hard to have that relationship with the money spent or the amount it costs if you never actually had to spend it yourself. That's something that I'm very cautious of, and I like to make sure that I tell people if it was something that I received in PR, because it does seem to make a difference. And with the big beauty YouTubers, it's easy to kind of want to follow along and get all the stuff they get, but so many of them get the stuff for free, so you really can't compare. So anyway, I do have a lot of no buy stuff to talk about, quite a bit of content that I want to do with no buys. If you have any specific things you'd like to see, if you have any specific questions, please let me know. But like I did say, this is my plan going forward. I am still calling it a no buy. It is more or less a replacement only no buy. I'm calling it a no buy for my own state of mind, because I feel like if I call it a low buy or whatever else, I feel like I'll start finding excuses, and I think I will make a few more purchases than I would necessarily otherwise. So for the sake of how my brain works, I'm still calling it a no buy, and I understand that some people don't think of it the same way I do, but I'm basically keeping the same structure that has worked for me so far, which is replacement as I need them. And then I, have that little mental space for a couple of purchases. And if it happens at the end of the year, it happens at the end of the year. I don't need to rush out and buy a whole bunch of things. I kind of thought I was going to. I was like, I'm going to buy this and buy this, and I have this on my wish list and this on my wish list. And I might still do a wish list video, but I have no plans on purchasing that stuff because I really just thought about it critically. I was like, I really don't need this. I just want it. And that's a thing that I've been working on changing, so I don't need to do it. The decluttering purchase cycle, which I see so many people do, I have really been able to steer clear of, and I want to continue steering clear of it. So I'm still doing little declutters. I still need to work through a lot of the stuff that I have and hopefully declutter a little bit more so my collection's more manageable, because it's definitely not manageable now. I want to have I'm not going to say minimal, because it's definitely not minimalistic, but I want to have a smaller collection of things that I truly love, and I want to use the products and repurchase or purchase similar things and kind of go that way, instead of having so many things and not being able to really focus on the things that I truly love using. I do occasionally purchase some things that are specifically for like YouTube, Instagram stuff that I wouldn't purchase for my everyday makeup, so I do kind of look at that separately. I look at it as sort of like my hobby money, because that's what YouTube and Instagram is for me. It is a hobby. It is something I try and do for fun and that I enjoy and that I have been enjoying for so many years overall. So things like lashes and lash glue and anything I might particularly need, and I do say need, for filming or for photos. Like if I need a darker contour powder for some reason I happen to run out of it, which I don't see happening, but if for some reason I do, then like that's something that I kind of file under like my hobby purchases as opposed to my makeup collection, because like I don't wear lashes in my everyday life. I've tried that, not fun, but I do wear them outside of the YouTube, Instagram stuff as well for like special events and that kind of stuff because they're fun. But in general, I wear them more like on camera because I like the way they look and for photos and stuff. So I'm kind of looking at that, but it's not about going crazy and purchasing a whole bunch of stuff and like justifying it by being like, oh, this is for YouTube, this is for that. I just mean stuff that would make the experience better for me, because like I like wearing lashes on camera. If I didn't have lashes, I didn't have lash glue, then I probably wouldn't feel as comfortable on camera. Like I definitely have I definitely have not worn lashes, but anyway, that's just one of the examples. I'm still working through a lot of content ideas. I want to go back and try some of the videos that I did before and see how it does affect me. Things like the would I buy it's, and actually addressing more current makeup trends and current makeup products, and talking more about makeup a little bit, and kind of giving my perspective as someone who has kind of stepped back from purchasing so much, as someone who is not as much of a consumer as I have been, and kind of what my perspective is on what is going on with the beauty industry and the oversaturation and all that stuff that's going on. So maybe I might be able to offer something a little bit unique from that perspective, perhaps. We'll see. Anyway, if you have any ideas for content, please let me know. As I mentioned, I'm going to try and throw in some like fun things, like, you know, get ready with me's and the palette bingo stuff, and some chatty videos and some no-buy stuff, and just kind of keep it fresh, I guess. Just gonna try and have fun with it, because that's what I enjoy, is like when I'm having so much fun with filming, sitting here and filming and talking about stuff. So anyway, that is my no-buy check-in update. What has been going on? Thank you so much for watching. I would really love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment down below and I will chat with you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. And I really hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.